and they're accepting him into their group.
Mhm.
He's gonna find out what they're trying to do, go report it to Miss Baker, and because like it's gonna be funny. Me and him gonna be talking, and then Cameron's gonna come up. She's the leader, but she's gonna come up and she's gonna say, no, no way, no way. I'm gonna shut up, Cameron. It'll be a funny tale. I took authority over her.
Okay, so this is the number one thing that sticks out to me.
What?
The teachers are in charge of their classroom.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We don't have children leave a classroom and go document things to an administrator who's not present in the classroom. If there is an issue that needs to be addressed, if there is behavior that is unacceptable that is being allowed to go on, the teachers are the ones who the students go to. They don't get to leave the classroom early to go document it somewhere. Unless, of course, Double O Dumbfuck is there taking notes on you and just getting kids to run back and say things about you, and that sounds like what they're doing. And you're not, does anybody ever act like they want you to go with them or anything like that?
We have cameras in the hallways, stairwells, doorways.
Yeah, but what about the classroom?
Not in the classrooms.
That really strikes me as very partial. It's extremely prejudiced to do that. These are children. They are not adults. And just to say that they came and this is what they said they saw, they're children. They don't have the ability to comprehend everything that they see, and they don't know everything that's going on in the classroom. The teacher does. The teacher should be the one.
Yeah, also, I brought that up. You know, he said that, yeah, we should bring that up, but he knows what they're going to say. They're going to say that the teachers don't do anything about it, or they don't see it, and they don't do anything. That's my exact point. They don't do anything about it because they know there's something going on.
Right, that's exactly what that
all
says.
The teachers, they either just say like Mr. Slusher just ignores them, and he tells them to be quiet and shit like that. And McMahon, he just says, "Hey, go work on your dragonfish." Yeah. You like. We're sitting at our table's right next to them.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down at my table. They say, Mr. McMahon, he's trying to scoot over to us so he can bother us and eavesdrop. And he just says, Cameron, you're not doing your work. Do your work. And he tells me to go work on our dragonfish.
Right, these are very childish behaviors. These are things that children in the course of the day are going to display these types of behaviors because they're children.
Yep.
Y'all are 14-year-old children, 13-year-old children, but you're still kids.
Even if we are honors, which would be considered an 8th grade basic, that is still not even in high school yet. That is still middle school. So, yeah.
That's not something that should be allowed to go on the campus. And, they shouldn't be allowed to leave the room to go report anything. There are adults who are responsible for supervising the students of the school. You are to be supervised by teachers that are adults. They're not children. We don't do that. I mean, that's just bizarre to me that anybody would do that. That's what I've been through that and went through that repeatedly in the public school system. And these kids would, get up and run out of my class, right before the bell rang. Or ask me for permission to go to the bathroom and say they were going to pee on themselves, and then they went someplace else, and that's all they did. That's the kind of games they play, and that's what they're doing to you.
Great to know.
So, you say that Nick is sometimes accepted by this little group of girls?
No, we made this plan, that he gets accepted by them. so he can find out what they're saying and go report it to Miss Baker.
Has he done that yet?
Sort of. The two neutral ones, well, the leader is Cameron is the Condra, said that they saw him talking to me and he's just playing games.
They said that about Nick?
Yeah.
He was playing games with them? Or with you?
With them. Because they're trying to make it look like me and him aren't friends anymore, and that he's with them. So he can find out what they're saying and go report to Miss Baker. And if they try to go up to Miss Baker and say that I did something to them, and they bring him, he's going to say, no, we're not friends anymore, but he honestly wasn't doing anything wrong. So yeah.
You trust Nick? You believe he's being honest with you?
Yes. You don't? Of course you don't, Trish.
Well, I don't know him, so, I'm just asking you.
Right.
But the number one thing that sticks out for me above all this is that children don't have the capacity to interpret the behavior of other students as disruptive or non-disruptive because they themselves behave the same way.
Yeah,
they have the same kind of, kids are kids.
Yeah, Mr. Fletcher's call has,
I mean, to a degree, if you see a kid throwing a book across the room, yeah, but sitting and watching a student that's sitting at a desk, you think that they're daydreaming when you do mental math and you do calculations in your head. They might think you're staring at the wall, but you might be calculating a solution to a math problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are things that they aren't trained to understand.
Right.
So, anybody that's foolish enough to take testimony from children instead of the teacher in the classroom, is a pedophile. Really.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, that's true. To treat a child as though they are an adult and to give a child this feeling of authority that an adult has in describing the behavior of a child. That's something that a pedophile does to a child, to make them feel like they are adults too, and that they can do adult things, so they can even get into sexual relationships because they're so adult. To do that routinely, I mean, some people, might do that every now and again just because, they're talking about how they have to file bankruptcy and stuff like that, and their kid asks questions or whatever, but routinely encouraging them, showing up on a school campus to take notes from children like that, that's something only a pedophile would do. Especially if there are adults in the room. There's always adults in the cafeteria, and there's a teacher in charge of the classroom. If those children have any concerns, the only person they should be talking to is the teacher. And the teacher should determine whether or not there's any kind of unacceptable behavior in progress and take appropriate action. Otherwise, the children do not have the authority or the clinical training. They don't have high school diplomas, let alone master's degrees in counseling or clinical psychology. So to take what they say and say, well, they say Jake's sitting staring at the wall, or they say Jake is staring at them, or all this, they are kids. That's not something to...
Yeah, well, tomorrow morning, I was going to go up and I was going to say, ma'am, if we were doing all to them, why didn't they just tell a teacher? Why, if we're doing all this to them, wouldn't the teacher notice, take disciplinary action, why are we playing this little tattletale game when the teachers are the ones that they should be going to about this, so they can take disciplinary actions in the classroom? It would be funny if you wrote her a note.
Well, those are things that I should say to her, Jake.
Good.
Your concern is for yourself and trying to protect yourself, and you're obviously very distraught by what you're being put through.
Oh, yeah, I feel so distraught.